There we go. All right. We're good. We're good. We're good. We're good. We're good. What's up, Ladybug? What's up, Facebook land? I got a special treat for you guys. I know it's been a while. You probably have seen these two ladies around. You've been hearing us for a while, but I wanted to showcase somebody special for you guys. I hope you guys are having a really good night. You might want to share this now. Share this now. Hope everybody's having a wonderful Wednesday.
Tuesday?
Tuesday. I'm already getting ready. I'm already getting ready for Wednesday. I don't already get there.
Oh my gosh.
I already get there. All right, guys. I wanted to bring somebody special on the line. And I know that we have got so much to talk about as men and women. And I just wanted to make sure that we were always, highlighting spectacular and powerful people that make an impact, and fun people at the same time, real on the ground boots kind of people. And I wanted to just make sure that you were hearing what she's all about. So I want you to think about who's in your circle. Who's in your circle? And I really want you to just share this video now if you haven't had the opportunity, especially ladies and men. It doesn't matter. This conversation is going to touch both men and women tonight. We're not talking about real estate. We're not talking about Forex. We might be talking about a little bit of money, but we're really talking about relationships. And I am Lorie Woodruff, host of Lorie TV, real estate entrepreneur. But mostly, I really empower others. And it's really my pleasure to bring on a really good friend of mine who I've known for a couple of years. And we now get to sync in different patterns right now with different conversations and different organizations that we've all connected to. And you got to have some of those people in your corner. If you don't, you got to really check and see, wait a minute, if I'm trying to get to different levels, who's behind me? Who's beside me? And those are the kind of people, as you get older, it gets smaller. If you notice, we got a whole lot of friends on the bus. School bus. There's like, hey, I got everybody's name, first and last name, But as you get older and you get more mature and you understand who needs to be in your space, that's privileged space. And we really, really want to make sure that we are only opening up that to people that can add to our lives. Not subtract, but to add to our lives. So I wanted to bring on a young lady. We're going to have a conversation tonight really to highlight everything that she's doing and all that she's doing in the community, locally and internationally. So I want you to think about the people that you have in your circle. What kind of gifts do they use to help you get better? What kind of gifts do they already have to make you actually a better person? And Dixon is one of those women that I've been in contact with. I guess it's been almost, I'm going to say at least 5 years, but I know it's been more than that.
I think 4.
But it's been a long time. Author, international speaker, poet, model. This young lady is doing the most, and I'm sure she has other things. I just told her, just keep it to a minimum. Keep it to a minimum, but when you are in presence of someone who's doing really big things, you can't really hold them back. So Dixon, Dixon, understands how women have been conditioned over the years and understands it's her mission. It's her mission really to break the cycle of repeated broken records and create new trends for ourselves and our loved ones. She is the creator and founder of No More Broken Records, and the movement to empower women not to settle. So I wanted to bring on the young lady. She's going to talk a little bit more about herself and all that she's doing, Miss Lorie Dixon. What's going on, lady?
Hello, Facebook fam. And thank you, Queen Lorie. The love goes right back to you. So yes, I will be interviewing Lorie on my podcast. So just to let you guys know, that's what you do. The love goes back and forth. So she'll be on my podcast. Yes. But yes, author, poet, international speaker, model. I also dance as well. So
what kind of dance? I think you may want to make sure.
Usually jazz, like jazz, musical theater. that type of dance.
Okay, you got to specify. Like, all right, we're talking about relationships. The guys are like, what kind of dance you do?
Right. No, more like
What kind of
jazz.
dance you doing? And where can I get tickets?
Yes. So, I mean, that's a little bit about me. I also do pageants. I've been doing pageants for years as well. So, national pageant title holder, been a pageant judge. My articles have been in Bustle, in Essence magazine. I was on the Huffington Post. So, I always like to let people know I'm human just like you, because I think people sometimes get caught up in titles and they put us on a pedestal and they forget that we're human beings. And I like people to sort of recognize that anything that I've done or anything that you've done, Lorie, like, you can do it.
Yeah.
We're both here, and all of the things that we're doing and that we have accomplished. It's nothing that any of you watching cannot accomplish and cannot do. So don't think that we're not like you and we're here and you're not there. Trust me, you can achieve anything that you can conceive in your mind.
Yep, I believe you. We had met through one of our organizations, and some of you out there in Facebook land may know Bob Yates. He's the gatekeeper to a lot of people's relationships, and I'm now in connection with. And through Circle of Champions, that is a personal growth and self-development company, spiritually based in Maryland. And really, that's where I first met you. That's where I met you. I met Steve DaCosta and quite a few other individuals, but that's where we first connected. Now, we didn't talk too much then, but I knew that you were on your journey with writing your first book then. So talk a little bit about your first book that you launched out in 2002.
Let's see here. So the first book is called No More Broken Records, 5 Tips to Change Your Tune and Transform Your Life. See the record on the front.
That was book number 1, right?
This is book number 1.
Okay. What inspired you to write that?
No More Broken Records. So that was birthed from, I was actually engaged to be married. And what did I want to be when I wanted to grow up? A writer. Oh. And so I knew at some point in my adulthood I would become a writer. But that came about because I was engaged and I happened to be in a relationship where I wasn't growing. The man himself is good. I don't believe in male bashing in any way, shape, or form. It takes 2 to tango.
Right.
However, in a relationship, 2 people should be growing. And unfortunately, at that time, I wasn't going backwards, but I certainly wasn't moving forward. It was more just stagnant. And I'm someone that's always dreamt very big, had these big goals, vision boards, dream big, all of that. And I just wasn't moving forward. And I kept calling my mother. I think I called her.
We always call her mom.
Every week. I think I called her if not every other week, it might have been every week. And I just kept telling her about the same kind of things that I was feeling. And she just flat out one day was like, look, I love you, but you know what you sound like? A broken record.
Oh, Mom had a lot to do with that.
This is exactly what she said. She said, until you make a decision, don't call me again.
Oh, hey, she said, drop the phone.
Sometimes you need that kind of tough love. You need somebody to kind of put things into perspective, because you have to make a decision that's best for yourself. And when she said that, and I just remember from that whole situation, it like hit me, that's going to be the title of my book. And I went to the computer and I typed up, it wasn't No More Broken Records. Initially it was called Stop Sounding Like a Broken Record.
Right.
But that's kind of where the whole concept of it came. And naturally that started my sort of spiritual self-empowerment journey, because of course we ended up breaking up and I took some time off to just do some self-discovery.
Right. Do you. So mom had a lot to do with that. You know, we hear a lot from our parents when they're always telling us, just get over it. You know, why are you letting him or her get to you like that? I was like, you don't understand. He did this, he did this, he did this. And it was like, just chill. And it all comes with age and maturity. But in our 20s, and we're just like, no, everything's a big deal at that time. So I'm glad mom had to, you know, get you going. That's what parents are for.
Yeah.
And so that's what that is really geared towards, is just really towards women, just to kind of get their bounce back.
Yeah, so it's I wrote it for women, of course, but I can say that the principles apply to men. So men can, and I would really encourage men to read that book as well, because the principles apply to men as well.
You hear that, guys? So you got to understand women to some degree. It's not on reality TV. You can't find what we're all about. Not all of us.
I know.
On reality. You got some.
Gosh.
I can certainly put on some lashes, get my boobs up to here. You know, we can definitely make a show off of that.
I know.
We're gonna call that.
I know.
Housewives of Prince George's County. We can get that one popping off at any time. Oh, I'm sorry, of Fairfax County. They need one. They need one in Virginia. But nonetheless, you got to have those people in your corner in order to elevate. So you've been connected to Bob Yates. You were connected to a lot of different Circle of Champion events, personal growth and self-development. Who else were you connected to around that time period to help you grow during that personal development time?
I've read a lot of books. I like to read, and I read a lot of personal growth books, personal development books, a lot of books on spirituality.
Right.
You know, Oprah, the whole Super Soul, Super Sunday, live class, like all of the spiritual teachers, like I really dived in. When I say I took that time off to really go on a spiritual self-empowerment journey, that is exactly what I did. And I was also connected. I'm also connected to Lucinda. I want to make sure I shout her out, Lucinda Cross. She's up in New York. She's a powerhouse too.
Yes.
The activators. Yes. Lucinda Cross. Lucinda Cross.
So going that time period, you were also connected to the poetry? Were you also poetry during that time?
Well, the poetry, I do it just like at Busboys and Poets. But aside from our local, I would say there's another Iyanla Van Zant. Oh, yeah.
I love her.
I love her. Like,
you're not.
Yeah. Her too. I mentioned her in my article on the Huffington Post.
Okay.
Yeah, because she does kind of what I see myself sort of doing, and how people come to me with those kind of questions. So definitely Iyanla too.
Okay. Good stuff. Now I know we have somebody in common, and one of our favorite young ladies that really, from a spiritual standpoint, has gotten both of us connected has been Miss Chanel.
Right. Yes, of course.
How could you leave her?
I'm sorry. Oh my God. How could I? Hello.
How could you? Why did you get connected to her?
Chanel Cooper Sykes.
Yes.
The one and only Chanel Cooper Sykes. Oh my God. Yes. Another powerhouse. And you know what? And let me give credit to this Australian woman. Her name is Kat Loterzo. It's Kat Loterzo. I think it's Catherine.
Kat.
But yes, Kat is the bomb, honey. Kat, she's best friends with Reagan. People who know them, they'll know who I'm talking about. But yes, Kat Loterzo, I want to give her credit too, because she is a powerhouse.
You gotta drop all these names in, because ladies and gentlemen, when you were looking, like, these are the kinds of times when you are looking to find yourself, and when you go from relationship to relationship to relationship, that's not really healthy, because I'm not a relationship coach. I'll let Dee hang on that, but just going through experience, you don't really know what you like and really who you are until you are by yourself. And I think I was alone for maybe not alone, but I was not dating anyone seriously for about 2 years straight. So I get you when you were talking about you got to be able to just relax, chill out, find you, and see what you like and what you don't like. Otherwise, you're just going to be living in robotic form as far as what does he want, you know, and you're just forgetting yourself. Then you end up married and busted and mad and not figuring out, why am I not happy? It's because you don't know how to make yourself happy. You don't know how to make yourself happy. And that's really what a lot of those bases are about. I didn't find Chanel Cooper Sykes until 2009, Deesh. 2009, I had been following her, and she actually inspired me to do Lorie TV just a little bit more. And I would watch her little videos when she's doing them in her studio apartment. I'm like, I like that. You know, I know she's not spending a lot of money on it, but she's talking some good stuff. So if you guys haven't Googled her, YouTube her, she's on Instagram, right there. She brings it. And if you are a man, woman, it doesn't matter. Anyone going through life, period, she is the #1 spiritual coach, the #1 spiritual coach. And you got to be connected to people like that are doing bigger things that can pull you up, People know, like Deesh and I do the prayer call in the mornings, Monday through Friday. So some of the ladies, Deesh, have been saying, I could see a bit of Chanel in both of you all. I can hear it. I can hear it because that's who we model. That's one of the, spiritual coaches that we model after when it comes to, just giving advice and just what's on our heart. We're no bigger. I'm not saying I'm bigger than any kind of situation and I've arrived. Not at all. Those calls that Deesh and myself do, I actually learn from those myself. I'm taking notes. I'm really, kind of paying attention to the words, not only that I'm helping and speaking out, but honey, I'm learning the life lessons myself. So it's a quiet moment that you have to get quiet. You have to meditate. You have to just really just be quiet and just receive, what's the next step in my relationship with money, relationship with people, my job, my man, my woman, all that stuff. So
I agree. So,
Queen, how did the Queen come about?
The Queen.
Yeah, because I feel I'm like, all right, Queen is high. A queen is high. So you call yourself Queen Deesh. How does that come about? How you get away with that?
Queen. I think when you're on your journey, you will get what you need. And as your own self-love increases, as you increase the love for yourself, your self-respect, when you start to perceive yourself differently, okay, you're going to feel different from the inside out. Mm-hmm. And that affects everything, okay? So one, you have to remember pageants. I do pageants, so the queen is kind of already there.
Right.
But the queens don't settle kind of had to do with it. And I just remember at some point I was like, Queen. No, we're royalty. I said, we're royalty. Queens don't settle. God, of course, had to give me that. That's divine. So it came to me. Queens don't settle. Why are we not referring to ourselves as Queen Lorie, Queen Deesh, or, Queen whatever, Radisha, doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. But why aren't we considering ourselves and referring to ourselves as queens? And I think ever since then, I was like, no, we're going to change that. Mm-hmm. We're going to change that.
You are the queen. We are the queen.
Yeah, I'm queen. And you're a queen. No. Divine royalty. Divine royalty.
So ladies, you can put that on your business cards too. You can put it on your business cards that you are exactly. Forget anything else, your insurance, real estate, what else whatever, IT, queen. Just put queen at the bottom of it. Just put your phone number, your email address, and that's it. That's all needs to be said. That's all needs to be said. Exactly. No explanation. It's just, it is what it is. It's royalty.
And the reality of the situation is people, the world is responding to you. So however you feel, however you truly feel about yourself, the world is going to respond to that. Right. So if I carry myself like a queen, if I think I'm a queen, if I carry myself like a queen, if I dress like a queen, how do you think the world is going to treat me, honey? Queen. Like the royalty that I am.
Queen.
Exactly.
Queen.
Exactly.
Well, yeah, so that's a note. That's a note because most people, it takes the confidence to say that out loud. one, to feel that way, and then of course to say that out loud. And that's for men as well. When men and women are in relationships, what do you think about them calling themselves men, kings and queens? How do you feel about that?
I think people need to do whatever works for them. You know, I know that they're, surprisingly enough, I have come across one in specific, and she's not okay with queen. She said she's not really big on the whole queen movement. And I was like, okay, you know, in my mind, she's still a queen, but I will not refer to her as queen, what her name is.
Okay.
So I just, ladies.
Lady, ma'am is your name.
That's fine. You know,
Everybody.
everybody is in a different state of consciousness. You know, everyone is in a different stage in their lives. You know, that could be because she's not owning her power, because she hasn't risen to a point yet in her own, you know, self-empowerment journey. She hasn't gotten to that point yet. Or it could be she just doesn't like that. But either way, I believe people need to do what works for them. Like, you don't have to necessarily conform to what society says it should be. If the two of you want to call each other queen and king, great. And if you don't, great. You do what works for your household.
That's not what a lot of people are probably brought up to do. And then if they are, you know, the schoolyard is going to break you down in a whole different way. What you mean you're a queen? What you mean you're a king? No, you're not. So a lot of society will tell you different, but you have to have the confidence to know, hey, look, this is who I am. And with confidence, you know, without arrogance, there's a difference between confidence and arrogance, but definitely just make sure, ladies, you know who you are. You know that, you know, what you won't accept. And fellas, it's the same way. As we get older, it's not about, well, everything is about the other person, just not everything. Yes, take that in consideration, but queens don't settle simply means I have standards. Absolutely. I have limitations to things, but I'm willing to make some adjustments.
Sure.
I'm willing, but I think it really starts with first knowing and identifying with who we are, who we belong to, and, you know, just kind of the steps of getting quiet with ourselves to figure out what do we enjoy and what really makes us tick.
Exactly.
Your purpose. You have to learn yourself. You have to really learn yourself.
Absolutely.
And it's going to change. It's going to change. So now, being in 2019, we work together in different capacities when it comes to Forex. We help make money together. We have a group of folks that do different conversations about money. We are doing the prayer call together to really help identify and empower people. And now you have got your third book out, really focusing on men. So we went from Queens Don't Settle to No More Broken Records, now to 2019. You've got a footprint out here for men. Look at that. Guys,
Kings
she didn't forget you.
Kings don't settle.
I got that. So we got to support our men in our lives, ladies, the same way that we support ourselves. So tell me about, how did that book come about?
So Lorie and I actually were at an event in Atlanta. We did have an event we were going to for our 4X group. But in addition to being at that event, Chanel Cooper Sykes just happened to be there. Yeah. And she just happened to do an event there that we decided to go to. And my prayer, Chanel does prayers, and I asked her a question. And my prayer, Lorie asked and got her question and her answer. Mine specifically was about more so like alignment. And she did this beautiful, beautiful prayer for me. It was really for all of the women in the group, but for me. And I feel like I took all of that positive energy back home with me. And less than 2 weeks later, I kid you not, it like hit me in the middle of the night. And it was like, the Kings Don't Settle. Do the poetry book for the men. And I churned out like 14 poems in like 2 hours or less.
Oh my gosh.
The first 14 were done just like that.
Yeah, when you're in the flow, like that's how it happens.
Yeah. So I said, okay, I guess men need this now. All right.
They do. So tell me a little bit about that. The direction of those poems are how?
So, and this, it's basically the same format as Queens Don't Settle. The intention behind the book is to empower the men. You know,
read something out of there. Read something out of there. Read something good out of there. What you got in there? Because I need
and
them to get
the books are available on Amazon, of course. But the intention, of course, is to encourage and uplift our men, because we have to be honest. You know, first of all, statistically, men commit suicide more than women, statistically. And, you know, men, especially Black men, but men in general, there's a lot of negativity, you know, when it comes to men, and like there's no good men out there. Yes. And that's just not true. That's not true. You know, and I don't want my queens to get in a mindset where they're constantly thinking negative and downing men, because guess what? Your thoughts create your reality. Absolutely. And if you're constantly thinking that negativity and there's no good men and men are this and men are dogs, all men cheat, then that's going to become your reality. That is it. Right. And no, all men are not dogs and all men don't cheat. Okay. So I wanted to make sure. Yes. And so God gave me apparently the assignment to help uplift some of the men. So I'll do a very short poem.
See, it wasn't bashing men at all. Got something for you guys too.
No male bashing. I don't believe in that. And I'm very clear about that.
And Dixon is talking about her recent publication of Kings Don't Settle, her third book out. And we are just talking and interviewing in reference to what she's doing and how she's supporting the movement for queens around the world and kings around the world.
All right. So this poem is called You're Enough.
You're enough.
You're enough. Yes, because men, you are enough, just like the women. The world may try to tell you that you'll be enough when you lose 10 pounds. No woman would want to love you when you're short and your stomach is too round. People may try to convince you that your current job is a total joke. They talk badly about your ambition and tell you to give it up because you'll always be broke. People may try to tell you that your clothes are ugly and you have no style. They tell you that your car is too old, you're never enough, not even your smile. A penis that's small, a pimple to pop, ears that are wide, will the list ever stop? People will always judge you, even if you have a good heart. Do not let their words define you when it's God that chose you from the start. There will always be something that someone can find. You have to love yourself so much that you keep those haters out of your mind. Nice. You are enough with all that you are. You are more than enough. You are God's superstar.
Oh, yes. I like that. You got to be able to recite that in the morning. You know, when we do our prayer call and we do the affirmations and declarations in the mornings, ladies, we have our own. We have our own. You are enough. That's a good one. That's a good one.
Thank you.
Yeah, because there's so many superficial things floating around out here about how we got to be. Remember, you got to have 6 feet tall, 6'8". Well, that's
8-pack. 8-pack.
Mm-hmm. You gotta have the 6 and 8-pack going on.
It's the 8-pack.
What else? Gotta have big feet.
6'4", 8-pack, broad shoulders, perfect skin,
perfect bank account, perfect credit score.
Everything. It's unrealistic. It's just unrealistic. And someone else who I like, I want to mention her, is Rebecca Lynn Pope. She's actually down in Atlanta, and she talked about some of the unrealistic expectations that women have, and I fully agree with her. Like, she's very spiritual as well, and I fully agree with her, and that's why some of us are single. because some of us are still living in this fantasy world, and we have this like picture perfect idea of what he's supposed to be like. And some of the stuff that you guys are looking for, like, it's not real.
Doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist. Like,
one of my good friends gave me that song by Jaheim, and I was like, a light bulb. He doesn't exist. We're looking for that 100% man, 100% woman, and it just doesn't. So I guess that's why I'm still single. I could be looking for 100%. Gotta make some adjustments. I'm good with 80%, but that 80% that comes in the door does seem a bit,
true.
Broken down sometimes. So I do have to still look at the 80, because the 80 is still under evaluation sometimes.
Yeah, but you know what? Another thing that I think is an issue too is that you want 100%. Okay, boo, but you're not even close to 100%.
Right.
Like, so both men and women are both guilty of this. You are asking for, you're being unreasonable in what you're asking for, because you're not even close to what you're asking for.
You got to bring something to the table. That's what you were talking about this morning on the prayer call. You got to bring something to the table. If you want more, you have to become more, and you got to make space for it. Right.
It's not about perfection. No one's saying that you already have to have, 6-7 figures in the bank. You have to have a house. You've got to have the, nice car. No one's talking about those material things, because first of all, you can't buy loyalty. You can't. Okay, the things that are important, money can't buy those things. Let's be honest. Okay, I'm not saying money's not important. I'm very clear when I talk about that yes, money is important. Okay, let's be clear. But that's not the only thing. You have to look at a person's character. And when you have this laundry list of stuff and you're nowhere near it, that's not fair.
That's true. That is very true. I had to break that down to my little sister too. I hope she's watching. She wanted all this of the man, and I'm like, what are you doing? What are you bringing to the table? Like, are you learning to cook? Are you learning to stop nagging and looking all through his stuff? No, you're not. Okay, well then that's what you're going to get. So that I'm guilty. I've been guilty of that too. It's just, if you want that caliber of man or a woman, you're going to have to step up, because there's levels to that, and you're going to have to get onto that level. And it's nothing wrong with bettering yourself. It's just, all right, well, if I want that, then I'm going to have to get over there and see what that life is like. I can't talk to a professional who is going around the world, speaking on stages, making well over 6 and 7 figures, and I can't even manage my own bank account. I hate talking in front of people. It's just going to be a weird match as far as get with it. So I know personal development has been key. Personal development has been key. When I first wrote, just like you, in 2015, I was starting and gotten the book out for Unleash Your Irresistibility. It was the same concept, because I was going through broken moments. I had to get through depression. I had to get through life, and writing for me, just like you, was like heaven. And it was so easy to do. It was very easy to get it out. And I'm like, you know what? If I'm feeling this way, there's got to be somebody else around the world that's feeling this way, and they're having that same nod, just like you're doing right now when you're speaking your story. So, it's that book was not just for women, because I find that men enjoy it as well. We're both not bashing men in our books. It's just, what can we do to empower you to be better?
Right.
And it typically goes through dark moments where you have to, when those moments are birthed and those books are coming out like that. So 2015 years.
And, and I think about it too, that I said, well, wait a minute. If I help empower all these women, who's helping the men? I said, if we are healing and helping women, who's helping heal the men? Because we'll have all of these women into personal growth and personal development. And okay, well, the men are still broken, so that's still not going to work.
We're still in a bad situation, so we got to help them as well.
Got to help the men as well.
So what do you think at this time? I wanted to ask you a question about like real nitty gritty. At this time, 2019, what do you think be nice about this? when a woman has problems with being herself, being free, what does that typically come from, and how does she relax so that men can feel her 100%? Like, you know, because sometimes we don't give our all because of our past baggage, you know, baggage back here. So I don't want to give him my all because I've been hurt. And what do you do in that kind of sense that helps somebody build their confidence back up to be ready for that relationship?
So one thing that I talk about on the podcast, I have a podcast called Queens Don't Settle, and it's specifically called Commitment Equals Confidence. And it's for Queens Don't Settle naturally. The podcast is for women, but men can listen to it as well, because again, my principles typically apply to both women and men. Okay. One thing is commitment. Okay. People don't understand that when you commit to yourself and you follow through on the things that you say you're going to do, that helps build your confidence. If you keep breaking your own promises, you're not following through to yourself. It's like you lose confidence in yourself. Think about when you look at yourself if you were to look in the mirror at the end of the day and you've broken all of the promises to yourself, you haven't completed anything, how do you think you're going to feel about yourself when you look at the mirror? And it's something, exactly. And so one of the things that I do recommend is that you follow through on the commitments that you make to yourself. Okay. Get your goal, get clear on what you want out of life. Okay. You have to have a GPS. You think about a GPS, unless you put an address in that thing, how can you expect the GPS to get you where you're trying to go?
Nowhere.
So you have to, exactly. So you have to have clarity, first of all, on what you want. And so if you're talking about a relationship and you want to be able to, we'll just say, attract, you know, guys and stuff like that. Okay. You're clear. I want to attract more men. Okay. Well, let me work on myself. You always have to be working on yourself. I can't stress that enough. The work is the hardest part. Like,
right. It is.
It is you have to constantly be working on yourself. You have to invest in yourself. Okay. Investing in yourself, ladies and men, is an act of self-love. Okay. It's reading books about how to increase your confidence. It's reading books about how to better your life, how to transfer your life, how to be a better person, how to, you know, better manage your money. It's also listening. It's who you listen to. Okay. It's what do you watch on TV? Yeah. I'm very big on affirmation. So I always have affirmations playing around me somewhere in some kind of way. Okay. You've got to always be working on yourself, because everything is inside out. And so the better you are, okay, and the better you work on yourself, the better your outside world will be.
Right.
You're going to attract people based on where you are. Right. And so if right now you're closed-minded, you're closed off, you're not following through on any of the commitments to yourself, you're in a very low vibration, how can you expect to attract high caliber people? And these men that you supposedly want, you're not on the same frequency as them.
Right.
You're not at all. And so I say work on yourself, you know, get clear and real with yourself. And just continue to work on yourself. Another thing I would say specifically for my queens is being feminine. Like a lot of us sometimes are hard, and that's because we are still holding on to old baggage and stuff that we need to let go of. Okay. But you have to do the inner work on that. You've got whatever kind of forgiveness ritual, but you at some point are going to have to let go of those hurts and disappointments and the old relationship from 10 years ago.
Oh,
you're going to have to.
The bags. The bags in the back.
You're going to have to let it go. Okay. I talked about cleaning house a little bit. I said declutter your life on the prayer call earlier, but it's part of decluttering your life. You have to let go of some of those things to make space for what you're asking for. Okay. But being feminine, like your divine, think of your feminine energy and how you dress. Think about your clothes, ladies. Your clothes, I have a poem in the Queens Don't Settle book specifically called Your Attire. Your attire makes a difference. What you put on when you walk outside in the world, it affects how you feel.
Right. She
It
wasn't calling you a
absolutely
tire lady. She was saying you're ATTIRE. You're a tire.
yes, your attire, your clothes. Yes, all of those things make a difference. You know, when you put on just your little piece of sweatpants and you got your hair with your do rag and you
Mm-hmm.
just go out, yes, you know, there's a
That's when
certain
everybody meets you too. Hey, Lorie, oh,
exactly, exactly. And so you
dress
want to
how
be
you want to
mindful of
be
those.
impressed. Dress how you want to be addressed.
Exactly. Dress how you want to be addressed, honey.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you don't have to go out looking like a beauty queen. Hello, because I'm gonna be real. I don't.
Do this and take the trash out in this outfit. I'm gonna
Yes.
find my husband by the trash can tonight because I look great. I feel great.
Exactly. Good.
He
But
might be
you
taking his
do.
trash out tonight too.
But that's the point. Exactly what you said. You said because you feel good. And that's the whole thing. You have to feel good. You got to feel good about yourself, ladies,
Good.
because there's an energy in that. And if you feel good, you're going to attract other things to you
That's right.
that
It's a
also feel
magnet.
good.
It's a
Just a
magnet.
magnet to all that good energy, honey. And so
Wow.
you'll attract those guys. When you are, think about it, you're going out and you look good and you feel good, like they're going to be like, okay, because that's the vibe that you're giving off. And that's how you feel about yourself. And
Right.
that's why it's always going back to self-love and your perception of yourself.
One of the
That's
things that, oh, sorry. One of the things that Chanel, remember she had said at the event was, what are you wearing at night?
I don't remember her
Remember
saying
she
that.
said that? Because my
Oh,
question was a little
yes.
bit more
Yes.
intimate as far. My question to her was, how come I'm attracting like the wrong person that I'm thinking? You know, I feel like I'm attracting one caliber of person, but I was attracting a different kind. She says, well, what are you wearing to bed at night?
Right.
You know, sometimes it's t-shirt, it could be, she says, well, how about you change that? Just like you were saying, how you want to be addressed, even though you might be by yourself, why don't you dress sexy? Now,
Yep.
there's nothing I can do because the hair has to be wrapped up. We're gonna wrap that up, all right? That's for keepsakes. But I started to buy some negligee. I started to buy some things at night, and I start to feel better even at nighttime by myself. But I am at least doing that so that it does welcome, you know,
Exactly.
somebody.
That energy.
And
Exactly.
she gave me an idea too. But you know, I'm gonna leave that to her. You guys can get in touch with her to talk about all those little extras. I'm not gonna give away all my secrets of what she gave me because y'all gonna be like, what? But how can people get more connected to you? You have a podcast going on. We've got the prayer call. You've got coaching. Tell us how they can get connected to you more on coaching, life coaching and relationship coaching.
So I would just go right to my website. It's www.queensdon'tsettle.com. The blog is on there. All of the links to the books, the podcast, my YouTube channel, all of that is on there. So it's a one-stop shop. Queensdon'tsettle.com.
All right, we'll make sure we put that in the comment section. Now, your podcast, how often are you doing the podcast? When is that on?
Queens Don't Settle is on Anchor, iTunes, and Spotify. It's also on Google Podcasts as well.
Cool. And you've got some big rankings with that just recently. How did you do with that?
Yes, so I know, this is exciting.
Congratulations.
I celebrated with a cupcake. So I just had my 1-year anniversary a couple of days ago, and I'm over 28,000.
Somebody's listening. Somebody's tuning in to get some relationship tips. That is awesome.
Yes, and it's life and relationships. It's life and relationships. So we talk about a lot of different things. Yeah.
Well, we got that going on. We got life, we got relationships, money.
I have a couple podcasts on there in regards to money, because I am a Forex trader.
Yeah. Yeah. She has done quite a few trainings with our group where she's showing people definitely how to leave their job and replace their salary with pips. So, you know, those kind of things, when you start vibrating with people who have like minds, you're not selfish about giving out that kind of information. That right there, when you gave that out, people were like, what? That's all it takes. You know, now you have a plan in front of you as far as what does it take to actually leave my job if I need to, if I need to. So we're going to put that link into the Facebook comments, because that way everybody can see it in there. Drop that in there when we make sure we get off. Queensdon'tsettle.com. Your books are on Amazon. Make sure, ladies and gentlemen, you go out there and get that, because if we're going to be better for the next person, we got to be better here first. We got to do a lot of inner work. And this is really the time where most people usually, and I say this often on the calls, usually around the age of 20, 25, we die. We die with the creative spirits. We stop doing a lot of the things that we used to, like when we were kids, we're doing this, oh, I can do this, I can do this. And then when you're 20, 30, you're just like, that's too hard. Or, you know, I don't really want to put the effort in. That's too much work. And then around 50 years old, you kind of start picking stuff up again. And you're like, wait a minute, I'm halfway through my life right now, and I have to start picking it up again. What the heck is happening between 20 and 50? 25 and 50, that's a lot of time. And that's the discovery time where a lot of us need to really just pour into personal development. This was all about really just wrapping back to personal development. We can't do anything without personal development. That's my vision board over there. It's still expanding. You gotta have something with you to keep you anchored. Your relationships are gonna suffer. Your money's gonna suffer. Something, you know, right now I'm craving. I need to get in front of some seminars, Deesh. If you know of any going on, I need to be in front of them. Because,
well, you know, Bob is having his thing Saturday morning.
And there we go. See, you got to be in front of people who are talking and pouring into you, because then I'm gonna be dry. I need to be filled up. And so for many people, tune in Monday through Friday. Deesh, you'll hear one of our voices, our soothing voices in the morning. And that was not an assignment that I had years ago, as when we were at that same event, Deesh, in Atlanta. Remember, that was something that Chanel had called out. And she says, ladies, why aren't you doing more in your community? And why aren't you, how about doing a prayer call? And her and I, we just looked at each other and like, it's done. By the time we got back, we set it up, and we haven't skipped a beat. So ever since February, it's been Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and we've just been connecting and connecting and connecting. There's so many people that we don't even know who's connected to the calls. That's great. I don't need to know. I'm not taking a tally. We're not taking, let me see a roster of how many people. It's the assignment. When you have an assignment on your life, you just do it. And that's
answer the call. Answer the call.
Right. And
answer that call.
Pleasure to get ready and get prepped. I didn't know much about the Bible. I'm not claiming that I am a pastor, but I know spirituality, and I'm very familiar with personal development. And when you link those two together, why can't we do better with our life? Someone's going to get changed. I'm going to get changed. Deesh is going to get some kind of change out of it. So we welcome you to that as well. When you see that call number, and we'll put that out there as well in the comment section, Deesh, keep that number, because it's not going to change. 8 a.m. we get started. I may get started at 8:01. I'm just waiting on y'all to get on there. But we will just make sure that you all are getting fed. That's the main thing, is that you got two ladies here looking to get you fed. But Deesh is going to be doing more events. I think are you doing more seminars going forward for 2019?
I have a fashion show coming up next weekend. There's some talk about the possibility of some international speaking engagements.
Yes, it's already done.
So God's got some, God's clearly going to have me busy.
Yes. So,
yeah.
Cool. So author, poet, international speaker, model, Radisha, I love you. I appreciate you hanging in there with everything that we're doing together, and I know it's going to be more. So
Absolutely.
God gave you an assignment. You keep it up. You have fun.
I love you too.
And you keep the kings and queens around the world happy.
Amen.
And settled. To be continued.
Absolutely.
Yes, to be continued, you guys.
Queens don't settle, honey. We sure don't. You remember that. Queens don't settle.
I'll do it. It's not an option.
And, no, and neither do the kings either.
Riri won't let you. Miss Woodchuck's not gonna let you.
I mean,
None of that.
yeah, no, you deserve better. You guys, you deserve better and the absolute best that life has to offer. And some of you just really need to, I feel like it's your next level, and you may just need to get around some different people,
Yep.
you know, but you got to do something different, because nothing changes until you change. And that's why the personal growth and personal development is so important. And we can't stress doing the work enough. You got to do the work, the inner work.
Necessary. All right. Queens don't settle. You make sure that you see her on the internet. If you see her around town, make sure that you are booking that event to be next to her, but certainly make sure you listen out for her podcasts that are already trending on Queens Don't Settle. So until the next time, we will be interviewing somebody else next week, empowering them, empowering you to be a better you. So I'll see you guys soon. Lorie Woodruff signing out. Deesh.
I love you, and we love you guys.
See you soon.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Bye, girl.